What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream. Live from Costa Rica. What's going down? What's going down? Hopefully, people will start to make their way in. This is an impromptu stream here, making sure everything is looking good on my end. I want to make sure I didn't make any mistakes on the description. There we go. It's looking good. Okay. Yeah, I think we got everything going. Serious Business says howdy. What's up? What's up? Welcome. Hold on, let me check one other thing. There was something else I need to make sure is good here. Okay, hold on. Yeah, the reason why I'm making sure there's no mistakes here is because I use ChatGPT to help me with the thumbnails, and it made a mistake on the first version of the thumbnail that I made in terms of the spelling, and that would have been a big problem for somebody's name on the thumbnail. And literally, I put it in right. 100% put it in right. I just double checked the original thing that I fed in, and it misspelled it. And that's the person who I'm apologizing to. And I was like, oh my God, now I'm going to make things even worse. And so anyways, I asked chat to fix it. It fixed it. And then now I'm just making sure that I didn't put the wrong, upload the wrong thing here. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I just want to make sure. Hold on. Spiritual Mama. What's up? What's up? How you doing? All right, give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Before I start saying everything, I just want to make absolutely certain we're good here. Oh, wait, there it was. Hold on. Boop. Yeah. Okay, we got the right one up. Whew. Okay, now we got a lot to talk about here. Let me close this. Okay, we got a lot to talk about today. What's up? What's up? Spiritual Mama says, I'm good, thanks. Awesome. Okay. So let me give you guys some updates since we had the stream on Saturday. So first of all, I made a pretty interesting video yesterday. Not sure if everybody saw it, but I wanted to talk about that. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I get into that, I want you guys to take a look at our Discord server now. It's pretty cool. Hold on. Let me refresh this here. Interview with Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, no, that's not the interview. Hey, another 100 jewels. Dang, thanks, Christian. I appreciate that. Giving me a lot of jewels lately. Hello. The truth is out there. What's up? What's up? Okay, so where are we at? You know what? I feel like we lost members on the Discord server. I was gonna say that we broke 100 members, but now it looks like we lost some members here. So check it out. Here's the Discord server. Once again, shout out to Alexandra, who made all of these really cool channels and different places for people to talk and communicate. I've been checking out some of the stuff. There's this whole section where people react and respond to the videos. And who is this? Out of the Trap has been commenting and stuff. Let's see. I don't know. People have been commenting, and I've been popping in there here and there, and it's been really cool and really fun to see everybody connecting and having these conversations. So that's been pretty cool. I'd love to see maybe if we can eventually have a location-based group. Like, for example, everybody in LA could be in one spot, and people in Chicago, we could even arrange meetups. That'd be sick. If you guys have an interest in that, let me know. But I think that'd be really cool. Okay, hi, have you give me a ride to overthink the afterlife? Hope we find a solution. I hope we find a solution to escape. Hi, have you give me a ride to overthink the afterlife? Hope we find a solution to escape. I hope so too. Christian says, yo, at this point, you thinking everything could be deception at this point? Well, not everything. Certainly can't think everything, but I think that it's a fair thing to say that there's quite a lot of it, and we shouldn't underestimate the amount of deception. So we should be questioning everything. Like, I mean, there is definitely things that are true. I mean, we're able to find each other in this whole journey. We're able to decipher in terms of what we think is false and not false. I feel somewhat reasonably well in this life. So I think we're able to reach out and find other people that are trying to be authentic and use our discernment as such. So I think to say that everything could be, could be, I think is yeah, sure, anything could be possibly deceptive. But I don't think we have to go so far as say, yes, everything is deceptive and we have got no chance. No, I don't think that's the case. Beatrix says, greetings from Germany. What's up? What's up? I won't be able to attend this live stream as it's night here, but we'll definitely watch in the morning. Good night. All right, man. Take it easy. Have a good night. Hi there, Mavo Gawo. What's up? What's up? Hope we find out before we die. Greetings from Australia. I'd like to ask a question. I'm wondering, when our loved ones cross over, are they able to perceive or read our consciousness in some way? And I wonder whether they know that what this whole construct is. It's a great question. I don't know the answer to it. My assumption is they're immediately distracted and shown the love or the entities or whatever masquerading as religious figures or whatever, and whisked away very quickly. So is it possible that they could? Yes. But do they get a chance to? Really? I don't know. I think in most cases, I would imagine probably not. But one thing, I know people have wondered and worried about loved ones that pass before them or don't potentially know this information. It is a bummer, but one thing I would say is, as I've said, if you stretch the timeline out to infinity, there's going to continue to be options or opportunities to eventually figure this out. For a trap to go on and on forever and ever seems impossible to me, because there's always going to be a way. There's always going to be another avenue to escape, to wake up. Okay, guys, let me start off with what I wanted to, like a big part of what this stream is supposed to be about. Hold on. Okay, 1 second here. Okay, so apology to Julie McVey. So let me explain something that I wanted to rectify here. All right, so here's the dealio. Okay, so you guys are familiar with sovereign spirits. I think most of you guys are. And people, like right at the beginning when I was learning about all this information, first video I saw was David Icke. That obviously I was in that new age camp. And I learned about David Icke and I was like, well, not like I knew who he was, obviously, for the longest time. I just didn't know that he had thoughts about what happens in the beyond, basically. I never knew he had any familiarity with NDEs or life beyond the material. And so I think I did my first live stream and I started to make my list. And you guys have probably seen my list before and I said, okay, what are other resources that I should look into? And even potentially people to interview. This is before I ever even interviewed anybody. But I started thinking, okay, I want to turn this into a show where I review videos, yes, but I also want to start interviewing people. Who should I interview? Who should I look into? And as I started to write down names, one of the things that I wrote down, and this is from people in the chat that were giving me guidance and feedback. So one of the channels that I wrote down was Sovereign Spirits. But when people had recommended it, they said, you need to interview Wayne Bush from Sovereign Spirits. Now, that's the name I wrote down. And this was, of course, it was completely unintentional, nevertheless, still hurtful. So I'm still want to make sure people are recognizing, and if Julie and Wayne are listening to this, that this is like, I feel terrible about this and this whole debacle. But anyways, regardless, I wrote down Wayne Bush and Sovereign Spirits as it was said to me. And then I went out after that, and I think I've reviewed 2 of their videos since, and obviously looked through Trick by the Light, super cool website. I was looking through Trick by the Light what was it that I was reading? Jason Giorgiani's book, I think. I was trying to find some other accounts that from NDEs that could be used for the video I made on Jason Giorgiani. Anyways, point is, that's the name that I wrote down, Wayne Bush, and I completely overlooked the part. Wayne this channel was created, Sovereign Spirits, by two people, not one person. It's created by Wayne Bush and Julie McVey. Okay. And so in the video, I didn't bother to look her name up. Completely my fault. Again, it was not any intent to be disrespectful. It happened to be disrespectful, and I get that, but there was no ill intent ever. And I hope everybody recognizes that, and I hope that Wayne and Julie can recognize that. And look, we're going to get to how this all came about, and I'm obviously not going to go into every single detail because I don't want to. There's just certain things that I want to just, we don't need to go into everything out of respect for them. But anyways, so I made the video and I referenced Wayne and I didn't even reference Julie. And I think I said this, I don't know who this other person is, because I didn't look at the, I didn't bother to like look it up, and that was totally my fault. I think this was the first video that I made where I said that exactly. And so the thing I want to say is this channel is obviously, it's a joint venture, which probably everybody knows. Maybe that was my total mistake for not acknowledging it as such. It's not just Wayne Bush. It's Wayne Bush and Julie McVey. And here's Julie's bio. If anybody that was introduced to this channel through me, and I neglected to say this, then this is obviously for you guys. Probably for many of you, hopefully you've been to Sovereign Spirits well before you checked out my channel. You know who Julie McVey is. But anyways, so Julie has experienced hundreds of OBEs since 2019, prompting her to interview others who've had OBEs or NDEs. She began to recognize a pattern of manipulation and deception in the accounts, leading her to investigate the reincarnation trap theory, among many other conscious theories. So it's pretty interesting because it's obviously I haven't had OBE, so we differ there, but that's super cool that she's experienced hundreds of them. But it is that similar path that so many of us go down, where we are latching onto NDEs or these other experiences. And that's the gateway to some extent, but then things aren't adding up. Things don't exactly make sense. Something triggers something in us, and then we eventually shift and transition. Okay, but so that's her bio, and I wanted to give her flowers right there in terms of just acknowledging her and also acknowledging that I totally screwed up in that respect by glossing over her. I compounded this mistake when, and I'll tell you why it happened, not to excuse it, but I'll tell you why it happened. I compounded the mistake when I reached out to Wayne and in regards to having an interview, because it would be so cool to have them on the channel. I don't know if that's going to ever happen now, but anyway, so I compounded it. The reason why that happened is because I still had not acknowledged that I had this massive oversight. And when I have, in my list of like people to interview, I still had Wayne Bush written down only. So I was going through my list of people to interview, and I said, okay, now I want to start reaching out and making much more consistent contacts out to people so we can really get the ball rolling on the interview. So I said, okay, I'll reach out to 10. I wanted to reach out to 10 people on Friday. So I'm going through the list, boom, 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 making the emails. And I again excluded Julie from the email, and it was not thought out. It was not intentional. It was just from that original list that I had written down. Hurtful, nevertheless. I apologize, nevertheless. But that's the whole thing. So, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I wanted to acknowledge Julie. I hope that. Look, I don't even know what's going to happen. It's not even about the interview anymore. It is just, I just hope that you guys recognize, if you're listening, I don't know if you are, that of course, in no way, shape, or form was this intentional, which I think they do acknowledge that it was not intentional, but I think they feel it was very unprofessional, which it was. I don't deny. I'm doing my best. I made a mistake. I try to make a lot of content and a lot of videos. Still no excuse, but I think all those things roll together. This is the why. If you want to know the why, all of this happened, and that's it. And I hope you accept my apology. So there's my apology. That's what happened, everybody, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The main thing is the interview I care less about, but I feel like we're all trying to do the same thing here. I would hate for little rifts to happen within this community over something like this, where it's not really about the message. It's just a screw up that I made. And I hope eventually we can get past it, but I don't know. That's all I can say is what I just said, I guess. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let's go through. Let's take this off the screen now, and let's talk about these. Let's read through some of these comments. Including what we perceive as heaven is also part of the matrix. Well, I think if you're talking about the heaven that people experience in NDEs or whatnot, yeah, that is just different realms of the astral, which is all inside the matrix. Is there even such a thing as heaven? Maybe it's the pleroma, maybe it's our originating point, the source from which we come from, but it's not probably the heaven that is described or thought of or talked about in most mainstream religions. Probably the astral, upper dimensions of the astral represent that by design. You are forgetting that we're in a human body with human mind and human perception. Everything you think, see, and feel through human perspective. That's true. So but by saying that, what do you mean exactly? Are you saying that therefore we can't trust anything? William Bowman says everything that we've learned is flawed, which is, I think, a really good thing to remember and keep in mind, because we're always going to make mistakes. We're always going to screw up. We're always going to, we can't ever get too high on our discernment abilities or abilities to function correctly. But do you think we can still have contact with our loved ones, even if they are reincarnated, perhaps through their soulmate? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know, because would I say it's possible? I'm sure it has to be possible, but I think the system is set up in a way that it's made quite difficult via the memory wipe. I think that's the point of it, to sever those attachments. I see some essence of somebody. You know, sometimes you meet somebody, you're like, man, I feel like I know you. You seem so familiar. You see something in their eyes, something like that. There still could be that recognition, but probably most of us don't even know when that recognition occurs, and so it's quite confusing. And we may never put two and two together, but I'm sure it is possible. Oversoul, I meant, Beatrix says. I give you detailed explanation, Mavo Gabo says. Okay. I'm starting to think it may be very easy to get past the Archons in the after-death experience. They need to use deceptive techniques since they can't beat us in a fair fight. Yeah, I think what you're saying is something that I've thought of too. If they need to use so much deception, then they probably don't have that much power over us. If they have to constantly keep us confused. Otherwise, if they had tons of power over us, they just, boop, yep, you're going here, boom. And they just throw you in. Yeah, the deception is indicative of a power dynamic where we hold the power. I've been thinking that for a while. But I don't think we should take the situation too lightly as well. I think that's also, we don't want to fall in that pitfall. Like, yeah, man, it's going to be easy. Okay, I'm done thinking about it. I don't think we should fall in that trap either. What do you think about this point of view? Michio Kashi. What about Michio Kushi? Michio Kashi, you mean, right? What is the point of view of Michio Kashi? Are you for real or hoarding subjects? Am I for real or hoarding subjects? Wait, for real about what? Do you think this world is effed up? Yeah, I do. Mavo Gabo, I explained in Discord why Matrix is very unlikely and a logical assumption, and why astrology and Prison Planet are extremely important to connect. You never even look at the arguments. Yeah, tell me where the arguments are. Dude, I'm not on the Discord server as much as I should be. I know, I'm trying. I'm on vacation right now. I'm in Costa Rica. Hakan Kal says, you are not a disrespectful person at all. I hope that Julie McVey will understand your reasoning and accept your apology. My opinion about you is that you're a good soul. Please keep going. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I got to be honest. Since I was made aware of this whole situation, I felt horrible about it. And I really appreciate you saying that. Look, and I know if I look in my heart, of course I didn't, there was no ill intent here. And I know that, like, I'm not I'm not clouded enough to think that, oh, maybe I did something really hard. Like, I know that I didn't mean to do it, and I can retrace the steps of what got me there. Nevertheless, somebody's feelings were hurt. Somebody felt disrespected. I don't want to be the source of that ever. And it was an oversight that I easily could have avoided had I been more professional and had I done more due diligence. So this is a mistake I will not make again. That I can tell you for sure. And that's sometimes what happens in life. You make a mistake and you feel really bad about it, and then you don't repeat it. Sometimes that's what we need to have happen in order for us to adapt and grow. But anyways, point is, yeah, this was not at all. I think they know that. They said as much, so they know that it wasn't intentional. It's not about that. It's just dismissive. And I get it. Wayne and Julie, they're a team. They're going to get each other's backs, as it should be. I understand. I understand the feelings. What it was, like, again, I feel horrible about it. It's actually really interesting because when you actually dig in, and like I said, I read through the bio and the information. Julie has, unless I missed something, it sounds like Julie is the one with way more OBEs. Says she has had hundreds. So a lot of the information that they go through and talk about, I wonder. I've never seen any breakdown in terms of the process by which information is extracted, but like Julie must be individually a massive wealth of knowledge just based on all of her OBE experience. I think we get so much good information from OBEs, remote viewing, things like this. Izzy Daniel said, but thank you once again, Hakan. I appreciate that. Greetings, everyone. What's up, Izzy? Yes, the truth will be known. Nothing for sure. Just hypothesis and yes, truth will be known. Nothing for sure. Just hypothesis and assumptions. Simarasha from Africa. What's up? From Zimbabwe. Greetings from Zimbabwe. It's like a maze trying to discern the truth of everything. Hello to all divine sparks, says Mayhar. What's up? What's up? Why do you say we are powerful when there's no evidence of us having such power? Otherwise, other souls that has already pasted would overcome them. Come to tell us how we can do it. Yeah, I'll tell you why. And it's what I think. I can't say it's 100%, but I talked about this with Howdy McCoskey. If you, like, let's say, for example, you have an ant farm and you've got your ant farm and you put it in a room. You like the ants, so you feed them, but you don't really do much else. They're contained in this glass housing. There's nowhere for them to get out into your room and go all over the house. You're not worried about it. So you just kind of keep them in this enclosure. You feed them, you do whatever you need to do to keep them alive and keep them healthy to some extent. And that's about it. But for us, it's different. For us, we're put in this environment. We're put in this entire system. And yet at every turn, we are manipulated. It's not as though we're put in an enclosure and we're just like kind of left here. There's manipulation after manipulation after manipulation. We are in a world of lies. We don't feel a need to put the ant farm into a maze of lies. But for us, we're greeted with lies and deception at every corner, whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's the way the world is made up, whether it's these NDEs, both positive and negative, as now we're exploring, that seem to be there, whether it's all these different narratives that seem to trickle down from ET encounters that differ, and why are these so many differing accounts? It's again because there's mass deception. And why would you feel the need to lie or deceive all of these people that are, or all of these entities that are in this little zoo, this little ant farm? Well, because they could probably otherwise, without the deception, they could realize, wait a minute, I can just go right through the walls. I can get right out of here. I can transcend this prison. So that's why I think we must have a heck of a lot of power if there's so much deception necessary to keep us contained herein. Now, the other thing is, this also goes back to the idea of where do we come from? I do believe that the narrative makes sense that we are divine sparks. We are straight fragments of divinity, similar to what the Gnostics talk about. And so that inherently bestows upon us powers of the divine. But I think we just don't realize it, because the only way we can not have power is if we give away that power. if we give it away intentionally via free will. And so I think that's what you're seeing here. That's what we're witnessing, is you're witnessing the removal of a lot of these powers or abilities because we've done so under false pretenses via free will. And so in this current time period, in this particular body that we're housed in, we can't give, we can't see our true powers and our true abilities because we've agreed to saying, okay, let's be housed within this body, this maybe electromagnetic prison and restricting device to some extent. And so now we're almost, and then you combine that with the memory wipe and we totally forget what we're capable of. So that's why. Mayhar 305, watching from Ghana. Let's go. Ghana and Zimbabwe. I had no BE due to a big shock. What I saw was, what was the shock, by the way? Like electric shock? First level out, there's the projections of our habits, of the core beliefs of our true essence. From what I saw, archons are part of our very fabric of our beliefs, which can bypass our anchoring or on our divine power. What do you think? Could you please help dig into this aspect? There's projections of our habits and the core beliefs of our true essence. From what I saw, archons are part of very fabric of our beliefs. So you can bypass that by going back to our divine power. Yeah, I could, but where would I go to dig into this? Meaning, do you have a resource that you want me to explore in particular that covers this specific topic of bypassing the archons by hooking into our own divinity or our own? So yeah, let me know how you want me to dig into it, but I'd have to research this a bit more. Okay, hold on. We're running a little bit low on time because we have to do our MMA show in 12 minutes. Hold on one second. 10, 7, MMA 2. Anybody who's into mixed martial arts, I'm going to send you guys the link right now. It's going to start in 12 minutes. Hold on. Let me show you. Boop, ba-doop, boop, 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 boop. Okay, there it is. Anyways, I want to talk about what's happening tomorrow. We got a really big interview tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys who the interview is. You're just going to have to wait and find out. But hold on one second. Let me see if I can give you some hints here. Okay. Let me see if I can give you some hints here. Hold on. Oh, hold on one second. My room service is here. 1 second. I just got food. Hello.
Hola, Mr. Capari.
Yes.
Hola, my name is Henry.
Hello.
This is your room service.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Can I pass to the room?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yes.
I prepared your table?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Put it at the table. That's fine.
Oh, wait, please. This is table just for one person, right?
Yeah.
All right, sir. Lovely. Okay. Yes, sir. In this case, we have some hamburgers.
Okay.
And some salad.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
And some Americano coffee.
Awesome.
This is the coffee.
Okay.
And some hot milk, right?
Awesome. Perfect.
No sugar.
No sugar.
Let me put this on salt and pepper and that flour for the table.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is awesome.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
It's okay.
Okay.
Let me just the signature here.
Okay.
The name and the room number, please.
Sure.
So, when you are ready, you can call us again and we talk back for the plates.
All right. Sounds good.
Please don't put the plates outside the room because sometimes come in the raccoons or
Oh,
animals broken the plates.
I understand. I won't do that.
But you can call us, no problem.
Let's see. All right, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
Let me close the door. Don't
All
worry.
right, thank you. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm back. Okay. Let me see if I can give you guys some hints about the live stream for tomorrow. It's somebody else with a YouTube channel. Okay. And somebody that people have also asked me to put on my list. So I put this person on my list and reached out. It's going to happen. He actually reached out very quickly. So props to this gentleman, is a guy that you're going to be seeing tomorrow. And I can't wait. So here we go. You seem to be looking deeply into an honest mistake, into my opinion. Yes, looking too deeply into an honest mistake. Let me put it, yeah, but it's not, it's, let's put it like this. I do believe it was an honest mistake, of course. And I said that it was not intentional, but damage was done. So hence the apology and hence the introspection. Robert Brown says, Julie McVey was doing her own channel before Sovereign Spirits. Then she started having Wayne Bush on her channel, and boom, they became a couple and started Sovereign Spirits. Got it. Oh, interesting. Listen, I didn't know the background. When I wrote, people in the chat, everybody said Wayne Bush. That was the name that was how it happened. That was the name that I wrote down. Like, I didn't know what you just said, for example, Robert, about, that was the name that I put down, and that's kind of how this whole debacle unfolded. Again, you're talking about control and manipulation, exactly what human nature is. Yes. So wait, what are you trying to get at, Jared? We can see that we are powerful from our intuition. Sometimes something inside you know exactly and gives you crazy good advice. Spark must be extremely powerful, but communication with us is restricted. Yes, I agree. Divine is unlikely, though. Just powerful energy, life form trapped on Earth. Why do you say divine is unlikely? What do you mean? Because what is your definition of divine? Where does divinity come from? It's kind of probably a matter of semantics. I've experienced my own power through manifesting what I've desired. That's good. Robert Gilbert, Michio Kushi, Buddha. There's my 10-7 link. That's where I'm going to be doing my MMA podcast in about 7 minutes. Hello, Peace of the Nations. I think we could take 30 plus years to find out all aspects of how this reality works. So overthinking it can itself turn into a trap. Therefore, we should focus on what is behind the trap, like God. I think we could. Yeah, you know what? I actually think there's some truth to what you're saying. It's kind of the same way where I've said, if you focus too much on the particulars of this person got out this way, if somehow that message can be relayed back, you might say, okay, we all got to go that way. And then that way there's an update made or something is changed in the system because it's a system. And then now we all try to follow that same path, and that leads us right back in here. So for example, if we stick to the particulars of some sort of escape route or escape plan, that could be leading us right back into the trap. Whereas if we think about the overarching the big picture, which is we are sovereign, we have control, we have dominion, we can refuse. There's a lot of deception out there. If we focus instead on these base messages, these larger, broader messages, then we can, it's like that stuff doesn't change. So that stuff can't be, our sovereignty cannot be taken. If we stay on guard, no matter what new formula is thrown at us, we're going to remember, wait a minute, let's trust ourselves. Let's be mindful of going within, not looking externally. And those things will have universal application and benefits. So I think I agree with you. I have 1,000 questions. Do we have a higher self? Where's the higher self? What does it do? Floating, maybe in a pod. What if all reincarnations are done at the same time? Where's our origin? I have 1,000 of those questions as well myself, which I'm trying to answer. Lucrative, for what it's worth, gnosis is the only way in my view. Self-experience is my evidence. I share to inspire others to find that in themselves. It's Matryoshka. Cheers, bud. Thank you, Doomsday Booty. Pure Vita. So you pay to watch violence and think that this world is effed up. Human nature is effed up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, you know, I've tried to, if you can, anybody can pick apart anybody's little aspect of anybody's life. Am I out here saying that I live a perfect life by any means, or I'm above everything in the matrix? Obviously not. So for you to come and say something like this or pick on one little aspect or element, it's like you're missing the whole point. This is what I've said before too. Like, let's not spend time. Look, you want to attack me, go for it. But my point is, as a larger point, if you want to sit around and attack other people for already being in the matrix and doing things that the matrix has that the Matrix has sort of imbued upon them, then you're missing the whole point. You're kind of off base already. I mean, I could say reasons why I like mixed martial arts compared, like what, you watch football or you watch any other sports, because there's all going to be elements in any type of competition like this. The reason why I like martial arts, not that I care to defend myself to you, but if you want to know, I think the competitive nature is beautiful. I think the respect shown is beautiful. I think the fact that so much is on the line and at stake when they have to go in and carry on these types of battles, it's inspiring. And yeah, it's something. And I also train martial arts. I train Muay Thai, and these are part of the elements. But I mean, yeah, like, you can think whatever you want. If you're trying to call something out, it's kind of silly to me. But what time is tomorrow's interview? Well, the time, but I'm not doing it live. So it's going to be in the afternoon, but once it's done, I will try and post it later tonight at some point. So again, I'm on vacation, but I'll definitely be posting it tomorrow night, because I'm doing the interview and then I have some other work to do. And then after that, I'll probably be hanging with my family. But after that, then I'll get the video uploaded. So I'll do it before I go to bed. You should put Jason from Archaic's YouTube channel. Yeah, it's on my list. Read a lot of old books. Greetings from Chetsia. Super Lady is back again. Stoner Steve. Jason not into Soul Trapper OB's data sets only. Love his research, no doubt. Stoner Steve 97. Can you explain how you see Loosh being also the good emotions? Archons exist only in low 4D. They cannot process high vibrational frequency. So you think Archon consumes? I mean, that's what I feel like I've read. I've heard from so many people. I've heard that from Bob Monroe talks about this. What are the other videos that I've talked about recently? I think Howdy McCoskey says the same thing. So I don't know. There seems to be a lot of people that have said that, yeah, it's the positive energy as well. I'm pretty sure that was in Empty the Cave. They talked, I think Howdy talks about that specifically. So that seems to be the consensus. I think Insights with Tony would say the same thing too. He saw the Loosh pipes for all the different flavors of Loosh. The different colors represent different emotions. So I think it's a range, it's a spectrum. So it's not about like going from one extreme to the other, staying at the positive side or staying at the negative side. I think it's done in a way where they're trying to make use of all of it. It's a system. It's energy extraction. I want to comment on the gentleman's statement that there's no proof that we are sovereign, powerful. Go for it. Go for it, Pantera. I'm going to have to go in 1 minute, guys. Jared, we are in transition, waking up to deception. It takes time to unwind all of this. What's your definition of the Matrix? The whole system that we're in, the whole system where all the deception is. Once we get out of that, then we're out of the Matrix, basically. The Bible and other mainstream religion texts do hint at our inherent sovereignty. That's cool. I train martial arts, and it's the most important training. It's the most important training I undertook. It has helped me to avoid altercations. Same, me too. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to go in 1 second. Mom died at age 90 in nursing home, dementia. I'm worried now. She had so much Gnostic knowledge. So oh, really? That's cool. Archaics doesn't believe in the soul trap. Oh, what's up, Rocker Chick? You might be new. I don't recognize that name. Okay, guys, I got to jump off real quick. Dawn says, hey there, I connected to the Archons when they created religious books. They have them cancel the mind-heart connection. They cancel whatever they just did. Sneaky. Powerful Off says, hello. Okay, guys, I got to bounce. Feel free to jump on our MMA show. We're going to be talking about something completely different than what we talk about here. So there it is. Oh, Alexandra just shows up. Alexandra, I got to bounce. I'm taking off right now. Okay, guys, there it is. Once again, apology to Julie McVey. Let me know what you guys think. Look out for this interview that I got tomorrow. It's going to be fire. I got more people in the pipeline, more people that are going to be interviewed, more people that have gotten back to me. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming out on this channel. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing for truth. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.